Okay, we're diving straight into things today by dropping right into the middle of a high stakes counseling crisis. Now, we're drawing our insights from Dr. Jeffrey Gross's doctoral level manuscript on ethical guidelines for restoring hope ministries. And look, this isn't just about high level abstract theory. This is about what actually happens when the door is closed, the session is fully underway, and the stakes are just unimaginably high. Picture this. You're sitting in a counseling session, offering pastoral care. The room is quiet. The person sitting across from you trusts you deeply. But then, boom, you're suddenly hit with a situation where a quick, completely private decision could literally lead to total disaster. The temptation to just keep things quiet is massive, right? Because it's all happening behind closed doors. But what they're about to say, well, it changes absolutely everything. Your counselee just casually drops this massive confession. Suddenly, you're holding the weight of a child's safety and your own legal responsibility squarely in your hands. I mean, the clock is ticking, the danger is incredibly real, and your response in these next few minutes is going to dictate the safety of a highly vulnerable minor. Now, here's where it gets tricky. Recognizing the severe danger of taking the easy, self-protective route here is absolutely crucial. Human nature desperately wants to avoid conflict. We kind of just want to keep the peace, maintain the relationship above all else, and maybe hide behind that veil of counseling confidentiality. We might just want to gently scold the parent and schedule another session. But this case study demands that we step up. We have to embrace the rigorous demands of faithful action, even when it's uncomfortable. Actually, scratch that, even when it severely disrupts the relationship. And this perfectly captures the core idea from our source text. Dr. Gross makes the argument that true biblical ethics isn't some rigid, bureaucratic burden. It's not just a list of secular compliance checklists to keep the lawyers happy. Rather, ethics is love made accountable. It's love made accountable to God, to the vulnerable, and to the law. At the end of the day, true love simply doesn't stay silent when a kid is in danger. So how do we handle this without panicking? Well, to survive this crisis and care faithfully, we need a system. We need the WRSHIP framework. It's a 7-step protocol designed specifically to pull you out of your own private anxiety and anchor you in a state of accountable, structured discernment. By having a protocol like this memorized, you don't have to invent a solution while your brain is hitting the panic button. Let's walk our case study through it, step by step. Let's pause for a second. Literally. The very first step is worship and pause, and it demands that we fight our natural urge to act impulsively. When faced with that shocking confession about the child, you don't panic, you definitely don't make instant promises of absolute secrecy, and you don't immediately launch into a lecture. You just pause, you pray, you quiet your own defensiveness. It's about deliberately centering your desire on honoring Christ and protecting the vulnerable, rather than just protecting your own image or the immediate peace of the room. Moving to step 2, observe and define. This forces you to map out the chaos of the moment into clear, undeniable facts. When a crisis hits, cognitive overload usually sets in, and all the details get kind of fuzzy. But by defining the facts, the fog clears. You realize, wait, we aren't just dealing with a spiritual struggle with alcohol here. We're dealing with a dependent minor, a massive power differential between a parent and child, and a very clear legal duty regarding potential child neglect. Next up, we review authority. This means we absolutely do not just rely on our gut feelings or intuition. We look to scripture for sure, but we also check our specific ministry policies, the informed consent forms the counselee signed at the start of care, and exact legal statutes. Like, in this case, Wisconsin Statute Section 48.981, regarding the mandated reporting of child neglect. Because, let's be real, faithfulness means acknowledging lawful authority. You are not above the law when a child's life is at risk. All right, step 4, seek consultation. This means reaching out to supervisors, designated ethics committees, or legal counsel. And why is this so critical? Because when we are stressed, our judgment naturally narrows. Our vision gets a bit blurry. Ethical counseling is never an act of solitary heroism. Dr. Gross emphasizes that you absolutely must not make high-stakes, legally precarious decisions in a total vacuum. Bringing in wise, outside counsel is just a necessary mechanism of both humility and protection. Which leads us right into step 5, hold scope boundaries. Know your lane. As a counselor, your lane is pastoral care, spiritual discipleship, and offering hope. Your lane is absolutely not investigating child abuse, gathering forensic evidence, or acting as an emergency responder. You have to strictly separate your role as a ministry helper from the role of the state's protective authorities. Your job is to report the facts, not, dust for prints or play detective. And here is the absolute climax of this whole framework. Implement the least harmful, faithful action. In our case study, the unavoidable action is to contact county authorities or law enforcement to make the mandated report. You protect the child first, period. But, and this is a big but, look at the second half of this step. You then continue providing appropriate pastoral care to the parent without obstructing the legal investigation. You don't just abandon them. You just change the parameters of the care to ensure absolute safety comes first. Finally, step 7. Preserve the record. This creates what the source text beautifully calls an ethical memory. You enthusiastically and thoroughly document the concern, who exactly you consulted, why you made your specific decision, and what actions were taken. This proves that your actions were factual, respectful, and legally sound. Because let's face it, human memory decays fast. This completely removes the reliance on fuzzy memories if questions pop up years down the line. Proper documentation is just absolutely essential here, and it protects everyone involved. You must strictly avoid character attacks, sarcasm, or any wild speculation about motives. You record only observable behaviors and concrete risks. And the ultimate standard here is pretty profound. You write every single case note as if a court of law or even Christ himself is going to read it. It takes this chaotic, terrifying crisis and transforms it into a permanent, disciplined record of accountable care. As we start to wrap this explainer up, we kind of have to step back and ask the big question. So what? Why does all of this actually matter? Why adhere so strictly to a structured protocol like worship when someone is just coming to you for spiritual help? I mean, isn't this a bit too corporate, too legalistic? Doesn't it sort of take the heart out of counseling? Well, this last point really hits the nail on the head. Rigorous ethics isn't just about avoiding lawsuits or saving face. It's actually a vital form of discipleship. It's exactly how we ensure the weak aren't exploited and that the truth isn't concealed in the dark. It forces us to ask a difficult, lasting question that I want to leave you with today. Are our systems of care truly designed to protect the most vulnerable among us, or are they just designed to protect ourselves? Take that question with you.